right, hello everyone, and welcome to today's Worstba live stream with Ron Barceló, hosted by Matt Petrick, who is here with two special guests from Barceló. We have Vinicio Subero and Otto Flores, who I will let Matt introduce you to in just a moment. Before we jump in, I'm Will Hookinga from Zavvi.co, and just want to let you all know a few different ways to interact with our guests, with Matt throughout the presentation. So to your right, you'll see a chat box. Feel free to say hello and let us know where you're joining us from today. I know we have people registered from all over the world, which is always great to see. So thank you all for coming. Also, if you have a question at any point during the presentation, you'll notice a button at the bottom that says Ask a Question. So just click that button, enter your question in there, and Matt and I will be keeping an eye on those throughout the presentation. If it's not answered during the presentation, we'll save some time at the end for Q&A. Be sure to stick around and see that. And last but not least, feel free to share the event, invite your friends to join us. There's a button at the top that makes it easy to do that. But with all that said, Matt, I will turn things over to you now.
Thank you, Will. It's a pleasure to be back here. I think this is our 11th or 12th session with Zavvi and with the Worstba member producers. We at Worstba and Zavvi sort of came up with this idea of taking people behind the scenes at the Caribbean distilleries, in particular our Worstba member distilleries. When COVID struck and we were unable to travel and everybody was jumping online, we thought this is a great way to basically get to know the people who are actually making the rum, the people who are manning the stills and working at the distillery and things like that. So we've done a great series so far. Demerara Distillers, St. Lucia Distillers, Grenada Distillers, all sorts of great content so far, and we're really excited for the first time to go to the Dominican Republic here with Barceló Rum. And we have with us Otto Flores and Vinicio Subero. Why don't you both, Otto, start? Why don't you both give us a little bit of background about what you do for Barceló?
Well, first of all, thank you for having us here. And on the behalf of Barceló brand, myself and Mr. Vinicio, we feel very humbly to join you here in this Rum Talk. Well, I'm Otto Flores, Ron Barceló Global Brand Ambassador. And to give you a resume about my duties here is kind of educate the consumer and the people around the rum industry about what rum is, how rum should be considered, how it should be tasted, and all of the goods that surround the rum production, especially Barceló.
Great, thank you, Otto. And Vinicio, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you very much. Actually, I would like to thank you and Will for such a warm present introduction. And I would like to thank all the people that are here with us today. I am currently the global head of business expansion. I've been with the company for 19 years. And actually, it has been an incredible experience since the company has exactly 20 years. So I am the oldest employee of the company. Hopefully, you cannot notice that because I drink a lot of my own product. But it has been quite an experience. And I have been in charge of many things because when we started, we were only 6 employees. And now we are over 200 without taking into consideration the ones at the distillery. There are another 700 and then some 1,500 or on the indirect employees. So I'm really proud of being part of the history of this brand.
Great. Well, thank you, Vinicio. I will tell you, I've looked at these slides in advance, and I pride myself in knowing a fair bit about Caribbean rum, but going through the slides in advance, I learned a few things, which is fantastic. So, without delaying any further, let's jump right into them.
Thank you. Well,
thank you.
A lot of we'll start. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mr. Vinicio. Well, thank you for all the people who took part of their time to join us here. Today, during this Ron Barceló talk, we're going to discuss the origin, the brand expansion, distillery, which is Alcoholes Finos Dominicanos, our production brand, environmental initiatives, and our COVID-19 response, which I do believe we're going to have to continue those efforts in order to ease the pandemic hit in the rum community, and of course, our portfolio innovation. First of all, we're going to start with a bit of story about the brand. It's been almost 100 years of fine rum history, which started in 1930 when Julián Barceló came from Spain with the idea to produce a really noble rum. I think we already surpassed the dream of Julián Barceló, and we keep building about the brand. A brand that in 1970 produced what's been nowadays the most exported dark rum from Dominican Republic, and I'll say the most exported rum overall, which is Barceló Añejo, and the most distinctive bottle, which is called La Pitufina. Hopefully most of you have given a sip of Barceló Añejo. But in 1980, we thought that we needed to take a leap into the rum production segment, and that's when Mr. Miguel Barceló produced and blend what's our Barceló Imperial. It's Barceló Imperial is our flagship and our most awarded Dominican rum. I do believe that whenever we look forward to conquer a country or to conquer a market, we do it from a Barceló Imperial.
Sure.
From Barceló Imperial and up, and of course, Barceló Imperial and below, whenever we're looking forward rums to mix.
Hey Otto, quick question. So when you say the Barceló was from 1930, I think, was that the introduction of the brand itself, or just like the distillery?
No, actually, the introduction of the brand itself and the distillery, as it is, was established in 2010.
Okay.
2010.
So let me ask the question differently. When was what year was the first time that you saw Barceló on a rum brand bottle?
As a brand itself?
Yeah.
Well, it was in 1950. The first two rums with the Barceló last name arrived to the market, which were Barceló Blanco and Dorado.
Okay.
Yes. So in 1992, we undertook the internationalization of the brand. In 1994, we decided to jump up and cross the Atlantic Ocean, in order to conquer Europe. And the first market was Spain. And so far, it's been our most important market, where we are the most commercialized and sold rum brand, and one of the top three among spirits category.
Okay. So you're saying prior to 1992, Barceló was entirely in the Dominican Republic and nowhere else?
Entirely in the Dominican Republic, but since the recognition gained in the local market, and of course, the idea of internationalize our brand, looking forward to deliver overseas this recognition, so we decided to jump out the Central American region.
Okay. So you did that first before you went over to Europe.
Yes.
Okay.
Then in 1994, and we first started to do business to commercialize in the European market, but specifically Spain.
Okay, great.
Well, so this recognition paid off of what being one of our most important awards around our history, which was the one that Barceló Imperial obtained from the BTA, the Beverage Tasting Institute of Chicago. It was recognized as the best run of the world with a score of 97 out of 100, and it happened in 1999. But what amazes is that that feat repeated in 2000, which was something very important, and still one of our main accolades in any rum competition, because no rum at that time has repeated in any any of those important spirits competition around the globe. Nowadays, nowadays, and when I say nowadays is because the journey continues. In 2016, Barceló became the first rum worldwide to be accredited as carbon neutral footprint, which means that we had the whole production process that surrounds our products has neutral footprint or a non-negative impact about as carbon neutral itself in the environment. I think that with this distinction and certification, we create a path for other, not just rum brands, but spirits categories, brands, and company to follow up in this what is the um, should be one of our main goals as spirits producers, and especially because the distillation phase generates most of our of the pollution during the whole production process. And nowadays, the brand is exported to more than 80 countries around the globe, being the main markets Spain, Russia, Chile, and of course the United States. And as per IWSR, the International Wine Spirits Research, we became in 2018 the most exported dark rum brand, a feat that also repeated in 2019, and looking forward to keep on growing in sales and countries. Well, now jumping on the main topics, our distillery, Alcoholes Finos Dominicanos. Hopefully, Matt and Will, whenever you visit the Dominican Republic, you're able to visit Alcoholes Finos Dominicanos. Is a big factory, is kind of our raw material heart. And over there, we do the milling process, the fermentation, distillation phases.
Okay, quick question before you go into that. So if I understand it, so this is, like you said in the slide there, since 2010, so the Barceló brand is a little bit older than that. Can you share a little bit about the prior distillery? So if people came across an old bottle, how it would have been made?
Okay, before the facilities went into operation, before 2010, we used to source alcohol from third parties. Before 1999, we used to do it from we used to source alcohol made from molasses, but
Okay.
then we changed it to alcohol from sugarcane juice.
Okay.
So looking forward to guarantee our supply of the 100% of the alcohol we need, and of course derived from sugarcane juice, we started with the plans to build up the distillery. And of course,
Okay.
it wasn't easy. Looking forward for the partners, the help, the international help, and that's how the Alcoholes Finos Dominicanos project started.
Okay, yeah. So I assume there was some sort of transition or carryover, like with the aged product line, of like you have some rums from your old distillery, your old suppliers, aging in barrels, and then you built a brand new distillery, and that's coming online. There's like a transition process of like your rum blends evolving to deal entirely with your own distillate.
Would you please repeat that again?
Yeah, I was just saying is that it seems like there would be a transition period, like when you used to have rum made a particular way from suppliers and put away in barrels, and then when you build a new distillery and you start distilling from cane juice, that there's a transition process of sort of the rum that's aging in casks is evolving over time, the old to more of the new over time.
Well, yes. By the time that distillery started to produce alcohol, we already were producing rums upon sugarcane juice. So the transition from that moment until the distillery went operational didn't meant any changes in our production process, because we already had figured it out, because we were the quality of molasses changes a lot. And when you source from molasses from third parties, the sugarcane industry wants to obtain profit from the sugarcane production. But that means if they do it in a high quality way, the molasses is going to be lower quality. So we were looking forward, first of all, to control the 100% of the production process since the harvesting of the cane, but then also guarantee the quality of our raw material, which in later will be transformed into the rum. But that means if you control the production process of your raw material, then also your final product, which is our rum, will be also the high standards that we are used to.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. I think we're seeing a lot more of this going on in the rum today. Is, rather than distilleries being dependent upon molasses, which you may not always have or may not be of the quality you need, more and more distilleries are saying we're gonna own the entire process from going to grow the cane and focus that cane entirely on rum making rather than sugar extraction and then making rum from what's left over. So this is a big move going on in Caribbean rum that I think a lot of people aren't aware of. So.
Well, the facilities are located in the eastern part of the region. I'll say it about 130 kilometers from Santo Domingo, which is the capital, and it's in between Punta Cana and Santo Domingo. I always say that because most of the people are aware of Punta Cana because of the tourism. And over there, I have about 220 to 26 colleagues working, direct employees, and depending on the harvest season, which is called the Safra, it might be indirect employees, which are the people working in the fields, the sugarcane cutters, and I'm sorry. Oh, I thought I heard something different. Are about 600 employees, depending on the Safra season. Hello, I'm sorry. Did you? My apologies. Did you hear me well?
I can hear you.
Okay, okay. So as I said,
okay.
Sí, don, puede continuar. Pensaba que, disculpe. Okay.
No, I'm able to. I am able to hear you, but I don't know if the rest of the people are hearing you.
We can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear Otto.
I'm sorry.
Because
okay.
Thank you. Because I heard just a bit like a far away noise, so I thought I was disconnected.
Right.
So as I said before, by having the distillery operational, and we have this 100% vertical integrated production process. And if we want to control the quality, that was our first step. But also own the sugarcane plantations. But when I say we own the sugarcane plantations fields, well, of course, we do not own the 100% of the cane fields, because imagine 70 square kilometers of cane fields. But we have an agreement for we have a partner we are allied with 3 other big partners that also have the know-how. One of them has the know-how about the cane field production process, the harvesting of the cane, the recollection of the cane. Other has the land extension is the majority land extension owner, but that is a total of 90% of the cane field extension. But the rest, we have an agreement with the cane field, with the cane producers, the cutters. We call them cañicultores, to guarantee their sugarcane production, that we're going to buy the sugarcane production, and that we're going to give them or to hand them all the elements they need to grow their cane at the high standards we need. So that way we also help the community to be part of AFD, not just the cane cutters, the communities around the AFD, but also those who own land, tiny lands around the distillery.
Okay. So there's
I'm sorry. Yes.
So there's no machine harvesting going on in any of the cane fields.
No, it is manual sowing and cutting of the cane. First of all, because by doing by hand, we also help the communities to guarantee that they have that job available the whole year, and but also we help the environment because we do not harm the soil with the cane growth.
Okay.
And of course, when you do it manually by cutting the cane above the ground, you help the environment also because the cane can regrowth again.
Okay.
Otherwise, we need to plant a new seed, and we produce rum 100% from the Dominican sugarcane juice. This is very important because Ron Barceló is the only Dominican rum by what we call the Dominican rum standards, producing rum upon the Dominican sugarcane juice. The rest of the Dominican rums produced from molasses. Okay, our water source. We source our water from underground sources, which we are fed by 3 wells that goes beneath below AFD, and we source our water from there. We treat our water in order to make it able to use it in the whole production process in the distillery. Those rivers cross the whole distillery and go to the main the work, and they flow up to the main river in San Pedro de Macorís, which is the Iguamo River, and those are the wells feeding by AFD. Happens the same in our production plant. Also, we have this water treatment plant that help us to reprocess the water before using them in the whole production process. Okay, so after the cane is cut, we take it to the milling process and to extract the juice. Over there, we squeeze about 40 tons of cane per hour, and we add the yeast. Yeast is a bread yeast strain type, and is purchased. We purchase the yeast and we propagate it when the fermentation process starts, and it takes about 24 hours at a temperature that is always between the 35 and 40 Celsius degrees. It's a closed batch fermentation process.
Okay.
And
I assume temperature control. I assume
temperature control is always in between 35 and 40 Celsius.
Okay, so you have actual coolers on it. Okay.
Yes.
And what sort of ABV do you get to with your fermentation?
During the fermentation, we're close about 8% ABV.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So as I said, fermentation process takes about 24 hours. It could be a bit less, but it's always around the 24 hours. And the facilities in AFD, we built 2 newer fermentation tanks for a total of 7 fermentation tanks. Each one of them of about 200,000 liters.
I think there's a picture on the next slide.
I do believe there's a picture. I don't recall if I took the 7 of them, but hopefully you can appreciate it.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I think yeah.
Well, and the reason for building those 2 tanks is because, of course, we're looking forward to keep on growing, and well, everything starts with the milling and fermentation processes. Now, so distillation takes place in the four continuously distillation process in AFD. Of course, as you might notice, there are 6 columns, but we are only using 4 of them, and the result is a 90%, 95% ABV spirit. So it's a very light and
Okay.
kind of a neutral. I'm sorry.
There's a question about that. So I know some other distilleries, like for example in Cuba, they may have like a 4-column still, but some of their distillate is distilled in just 1 column. So they have some distillate that's only 70 or 75% ABV that they blend with the higher ABV distillate. Do you do that at Barceló, or is everything 95%?
No. Here is everything 95. All the alcohol goes through the whole distillation phase.
Okay.
Up to the last column, because we wanted to be closer to a neutral light spirit in order to allow the barrel to add all the tannins that the rum needs, and to be the barrel and the master blenders, the one who do the as I call it, the magic.
Okay, so you're focusing more on flavors induced during aging and less on coming through fermentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And capacity so far, I say so far because, of course, as I mentioned before, we're growing in production too in the distillery. It's around 60,000 liters of alcohol per day, for a total of close to the 18 million liters of alcohol a year.
All right. So I'm curious, are you able to stagger your sugarcane harvest so that you can produce almost year round, or do you have like a particular season for the distillery?
Well, saffron season in the distillery ends between the first and second week of October.
Okay.
And then we close due to maintenance until the second week of November. Then after resetting all the machines, so I do believe we take close to a two months and a half off before restarting the production at the distillery.
You're distilling around 300 days a year, or 275, 300 days a year?
Yeah, close to the 300 days a year.
Okay, so in order for that to work, I assume you have plants continuously or cane continuously maturing so that you can do that. Like I know some islands like Martinique has a much smaller cane growing season, so the distilleries maybe only run half a year, for example, but you're running longer. So, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Before heading to the production plant, we need to talk about the reuse of what for us are byproducts, because in other industries, if you don't use them, so you can call it well, I'm sorry, if you don't use them, so you cannot call it byproduct. But as we reuse them in order to benefit the mother nature, the environment, there's the bagases. We use the bagases in order to produce 90% of the energy AFD needs. AFD is not connected to the national electricity system. It's sourced from the bagases. It's produced during the milling process. And of course, we recover the 100% of the steam for the whole production processes, and of course, the production of energy.
Okay, so the steam you're generating from your boiler is both used for the stills, but also used to generate electricity?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. As it is a batch closed fermentation, we're able to recover the CO2. Mm-hmm. Yes, and reuse it.
Okay.
And of course, the CO2 recovery plan, we recover the CO2, emitted during fermentation, and commercialize it to other industries through a third party.
Yeah. Does
Uh,
Barcelo do anything along the lines of like soft drinks or anything like that, bottling that, or is it just the rum that they're bottling?
well, not now, but who knows in the future if you are going also to jump and to diversify our products portfolio, but not so far.
Okay. So you're essentially selling or giving away this carbon dioxide rather than using it for your own bottling plant needs or whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
So, so if you say you don't drink rum, but you might be drinking one of those soft drinks, maybe you're drinking Barcelona directly.
Okay.
And then is the also the reuse of the vinasse to irrigate the cane fields, because of course the vinasse is rich in organic matters such as potassium. So we use it to irrigate the 10% of the fields. We do different tests in order to determine which are the fields that need the molasses the most, and we use it for those fields. The rest is fed up with the rainwater.
Okay. So are these the cane fields you're using the vinasse with? Are these sort of surrounding the distillery, or do you actually transport it somewhere?
It depends of the needs, the cane field needs, because all the cane fields are divided by parcels.
Hmm.
So for the close ones, we have this irrigation pipeline system, and for the one that are away, so we have a special tank truck,
Okay.
so where we take the molasses and we irrigate them with a
Okay.
special pump
Okay.
system.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, the production plan. So once the alcohol production process is done, and we have this 95% alcohol, we take it to our production plant where the natural aging process takes part, but also the blending and the bottling. Barcelona production plant facilities well built, well built, as you are watching or seeing the picture in 2006, but the construction started in 2002. And in the right side of the image, hopefully you can enlarge it. You are going to notice the Barcelona Museum Historic Center, the Ron Barceló Historic Center. And over there we have, the whole Ron Barceló production plant, including the Santo Domingo offices, sums up about 200 colleagues, so that 200 employees.
Okay. So is the plant here contiguous with the distillery, or are they separated by some distance?
Because of logistic, both are separate. The distillery is enclosed in the middle of the production plant, and I'm sorry, in the middle of the sugarcane fields,
Okay.
and the production plant is closest to the highway, because in order to ease the transportation part of the alcohol to the main export docks in the city of Santo Domingo to our local commercialized partner.
Okay. So you're transporting the alcohol from the distillery to the production plant.
Yes.
Okay.
So we do it. This is the difference, but not just with a few other rum producers in the area, but around the globe. We do it by natural aging. We do not use the Solera blending method. First of all, because we are not allowed to refresh the barrels with new alcohol during the aging. And
Is that part of the Dominican standard? Is that you can't condense barrels of the same age?
well, you said condense,
Yeah.
or
So some distilleries, what they will do is maybe they have 1,000 barrels of something of rum all distilled at the same time, and it will age for a while and will sort of slowly start to evaporate, and then they will basically condense them, like refill them with the same type of rum to reduce the airspace. Is that not allowed, or just something you don't do.
Yeah, yes. As you said, Matt, we are not allowed to do that, to retop or refresh the barrel while aging.
Okay.
What we can do, or what we are allowed to do, is that after we age, for let's say a barrel, and we said or we state that barrel will be aging for 2 years. If I'm going to do a double aging outside of the warehouse, in front of a tax,
Excise person.
yeah,
Okay.
from the government, I can then mix it or place it in another barrel for a double aging.
Okay.
But of course, before doing that, previously, I will have to already state the time that barrel will be aging in
Okay.
the warehouse.
So in age, it's like if you aged for 2 years, pulled it out, blended it with else, and then put it in for 8 more years, you would only be able to claim an 8-year age for it.
Yeah, yes, we do not claim that is age for 10 years, like 2 + 8. No, it's double age. Eight is double age. Let's say 8 years in American oak and 2 years in French oak. It is not 10 years old rum, or no, it's specifically just a double age. Even we also, as you might notice in our bottles, we do not communicate the aging because, of course, most of the rum consumers, they don't know the different laws that that every rum producers has in their own country, because rum law changes from one country to another. And if I stayed in a bottle of Barceló Imperial that is a 10 years old rum, and the people don't know what is natural aging, that we are not allowed to retop the barrel or go. Whenever they see another product in the shelves that says 15 years old, they'll think, oh, the 15 years old one is older, but they don't know what is Solera, or when below which standards it was produced. So there's a long way to work on that in order to try to create like a global rum statement for production. But we're working on that, and we let the people taste the rum, and they'll say if the rum is good.
Right. So a question about this, ask about filtering. So for example, in Cuba, and I know some other producers do similar, is like, let's say you said you put it in a barrel for 2 years. In Cuba, they're required to, when they take it out, they're required to filter it, to basically carbon filter it, and then they can continue aging. Do you do something similar, of like you age for a little while in a barrel, take it out, carbon filter it, and then re-age it, or is there not carbon filtering not part of that process?
No, actually, the carbon filter is part of our production process, but only when we are going to produce a white rum.
Okay.
After the aging process, because to be called Dominican rum, it should be aged for at least of 1 year. So then our youngest one is Barceló Blanco, which is a white rum, and it is a 2 years old rum. It's a blend of rums ages up to 2 years, and after the aging, we filter in order to extract this amber golden color added to the aging to deliver it crystal clear.
Okay, so for the white rums, there is carbon filtering, but it's only at the end. And for a dark rum, there would not have been any carbon filtering at any point in the process.
No.
Okay. Okay.
So right now we're aging about 110,000 barrels. If you ever visit our factory, we're looking forward to do that. Here we have 2 aging facilities, but in a third one in the San Pedro de Macorís main town. So here you'll find out 40,000 barrels, and in the facility, which is located in San Pedro de Macorís main town, because the whole province also is called San Pedro de Macorís. But this we have about 70,000 barrels aging in our export facility, because of course our main market is the export market. So that's why we expand our warehouses in order to also separate the barrels we have for both markets,
Okay.
local and international.
Okay. And when you say, and you may have said this already, but when you say American and French oak cask, are for at least the American ex-bourbon barrels, or different, like maybe new cask just made with American oak, like?
Well, we use ex-bourbon barrels, previously used, of course, to age bourbon,
Right.
ex-French oak wine barrels. But we started, well, when I say we started, in the rum, in the spirits industry, you have to work thinking on the future. So we started like a few years ago to work with new barrels, and Mr. Vinicio is going to tell you a bit later with something he would like to present to all of you.
Good. Right. That's exciting.
And we have this is something that most of the rum producers in the Caribbean share with us, or we share with them, is the ideal condition for rum aging. And here in the San Pedro de Macorís region, it is always close to the 86 Fahrenheit and high humidity, above 85%, which helps also to produce to develop in less year, what in a mild region, mountain region, cold region could take longer, in a ratio to 1 to 3, 1 to 4, and that's why we lose close to the 12% of angel shares during the first year of aging.
Okay, and that reminds me, what entry strength does your rum go into the barrel?
About 71, between 71, 72. And I say that like that because sometimes it is 71.2, 71.3. So
yeah, no, that's fine. And in talking to some of the other Caribbean producers, we've learned that the barrel entry strength actually impacts your angel share rate. So some aim for lower, some go for higher. So.
Yeah, it depends on what you're looking for, but also to create a balance between the evaporation, but also the interaction of the alcohol with the barrel, the oxygen that goes through the pores.
Right.
Okay. So also in our production plant, we have our own barrel workshop, and over there, besides also resampling and tightening the barrels. Because of course we don't do barrels, but we resample them, and which if it is needed to, we change the rings, the tuelas, which are the staves, and if there is any leak, we fix the leak by placing a Enea, a mangler root, but also we do our own scraping and resharding process, which we call it a scrape and toast. Basically, by looking forward to develop different rum profiles by placing the barrel at different temperatures, we can create different rum palettes and obtain different hints from the barrel. So far we managed to develop 2 very good rums in the premium category by aging our alcohols in highly sharp barrels, which are Barceló Imperial Onyx and Barceló Gran Añejo Dark Series, and those rums are very, in those 2 rums are very noticeable reminders of melted caramel, wood, dark chocolate, also those burnt tobacco leaves. So are rums that are a bit drier than the majority of the rums that you can find in the market. So whiskey consumers and who we're looking forward to enjoy rum in a different way are the ones that are going to enjoy the most those two rums. I don't know if you ever seen the Barceló Gran Añejo Dark Series or Barceló Imperial Onyx.
I've seen it. I've not had it, but I've seen it.
Both with the distinctive black bottle in order to communicate the Sharon.
Okay. No, it's interesting. We had a session here at Worspa for producers with cooperages, and they were or a cooperage, and they were talking about how they could control different by not just the toast level, but how long it was toasted for, and like low heat for a long time or a high heat for a short time, that they could actually tune the barrel to accentuate different flavor compounds being generated in what they called the red zone, which is right beneath the char. So it's a fascinating topic.
Yes. Well, actually, our charring process takes about. It depends on the level of charring. It goes from 3 to 5, medium char to high char, and for example, a high char process always looking not to damage the inner center of the states. But it takes about close to the 3 minutes, and at a temperature that surrounds the 220 Celsius.
Okay.
Okay. After once the alcohol's aged, which is not rum yet, but it's aged alcohol. It goes to the blending area where the elaboration process happens. Here, according to the formula given by the master blender, so we mix the different alcohols from the different age in order to develop a different and unique rum profile for each one of the consumers, and regarding, of course, the established ages. And of course, we use here demineralized water. And here we have another filtration process besides the charcoal. We also do the onyx filtration process with the onyx stone for our Barceló Imperial Onyx, but also the chill filtration for those rums that are going to different regions or countries or markets where the temperature can go very, very low. So
it's possible, like if you bought a particular Barceló expression and you bought it like in a cold country and you bought it in a warmer country, like one might be chill filtered and one might not be.
No, actually, there is something that happens when the alcohol faces very low temperatures. Let's say below the 10, 20, below the 15 minus 15 Celsius, and Celsius, and there are some kind of small particles that shape up inside the liquid. Yeah. And of course, that doesn't change anything but the flavor, about the flavor, about the aroma, taste itself. And whenever the rum goes and warm up again, it disappears. Right. But site-wise, for the consumer, is not. Of course, it's not good. So we do the chill filtration here for the rums that are going to go to those export markets.
Okay, so any export market rum will be chill filtered.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. We chill filter rums that we chill filtered rums that were going to Scandinavia, but we don't chill filter rums that were going to Spain, for example.
Yes, no, but imagine if someone that bought a bottle in Spain, if we don't do that, someone buys a bottle in Spain and gives it as a present to a friend in Scandinavia or in Russia. So it has to be the same production for everyone and at the same high standards.
Okay, so it's standard. If a given expression is chill filtered, it's chill filtered for every market. Okay.
Okay, so after the blending process, of course, we go into the bottling process where the whole Barceló production is bottled and packaged. We have a bottling line process. I do believe is one of the most modern and faster bottling lanes in the rum industry. And so far, we have these 2.4 million cases a year production, but we have an install capacity up to 4 million cases a year. So the plan is to keep on growing, trying to cork in new markets, and also strengthen our presence in those where we have already our portfolio of rums. Okay, and I had this save it for last but not least in the production process because I wanted you to know each one of the details regarding the production before introducing the denomination of, and I say introducing, well, not introducing, but communicating this work in progress. And this has taken longer than expected, but sooner than later it's going to be established as a law in the for the people who like to produce rum in the Dominican Republic, and it is because we want to protect the rum that is produced in the Dominican rum, because Dominican rum is considered as long as those produced in many countries around the Caribbean as a good product with high quality, producing high standards. But in order to keep it that way, we need to strengthen those statements, which are, first of all, produced from sugarcane juice or Dominican molasses, but both should come from Dominican raw material, of course, from Dominican sugarcane. Then fermented and distilled in Dominican Republic. You cannot buy either the Dominican sugarcane juice or Dominican molasses and then take it overseas in order to ferment it and distill. Also, late age, not less than a year, because of our aging conditions. It will be equivalent to up to 3 or 4 years in mild regions, cold regions, and high mountain regions. And also bottled for consumption at not less than 37.5 or 75% proof. If you comply those statements, then you can call your product Dominican rum. And this is something very important because to have a denomination of origin will highlight the Dominican production, not just of Barceló, but from the whole Dominican rum category. And before heading to the environmental initiatives, I would like to, if there are no questions so far, or save it to the end, I would like to hand the stand and microphone to Mr. Vinicio Subero, who will talk deeper about the environmental initiatives and our product innovations.
I think, yeah, we have a couple questions, but I'm going to save them until the end.
Okay. Well, I would like to thank you all. I hope that you have found Otto's speech interesting, because now I'm going to punish you again with a more Dominican accent. So I'm sorry about that. And we are going to talk about our environmental initiatives, and this is what we call our sustainability code, and we have called it RB 360. And why 360? Because we, as Otto mentioned a few minutes ago, we have been the first Dominican product to be certified as carbon neutral. Actually, under the specifications that we have, back then, we were the first rum certified carbon neutral back then. So that is a part of what we have considered to be our purpose. when you saw what was Otto's main point of the presentation when he was talking about the distillery, and you can see that having built the distillery right in the middle of the sugarcane fields meant something back then, and it is what I would like to call our purpose. It is now kind of popular to talk about that as like the fifth P of marketing. But and the thing is that we have had that concern about the environment and about the community since our beginnings. And something that is very interesting about this is that we are not following no laws. There's nothing that is obligating us to or forcing us to comply with these things, but we feel the need to be helpful with and thankful with the environment and other things. So we started with the air by being carbon neutral. Something that is very important about that is that we are also part of the climate neutral now. That goes together with the what is I'm translating this from Spanish. It's like a clean development measure that is claimed by the United Nations. And these climate neutral now is part of the agenda of the United Nations for the 2030. So it is a big commitment from our part. And talking a little bit about that, we could have compensated only those emissions that we develop or that are part of the result of our production process. However, that is something that anyone could do. So what we thought about that is why don't we make it in the whole life cycle of the product? Because actually we use a lot of raw materials that are not directly, we don't have a direct impact in them, but are extremely necessary for the product. Such as glass. So 50% of the CO2 that we that it is produced during our process is due because of the bottle productions. So we wanted to be a little more aggressive in our intentions, and we are compensating all the processings, the bottle production, even until the use of that bottle that the consumer does once they have drinking the product. So that is very aggressive, but at the same time, it is very satisfying because we go the whole way. And of course, in order to do that and be certified, we have certified not only the carbon neutral, but also our sustainability code, and we have done it by SGS, the Swiss company, in order to give it an international recognition. So everybody can feel safe that what we are doing is something serious and something that is part of our working philosophy. And in terms of air, that is the first certification that we had, only based on the carbon neutrality. it is important to say that since year 2016, that was when we started compensating this, we have compensated over 120,000 tons of CO2. And that is the equivalent of those projects that in order to reduce emissions in 5 countries in Latin America and a couple of in Africa. And this everything is certified by the clean development mechanism that I talked about, and the verified carbon standard. So this is really interesting. Well, that is let's say how we take care of the air, and there are some other initiatives that we have taken within that part of the production process that we do have an impact. And to those parts of where we do not have an impact, then we compensate it by helping these other green projects that are also part of the United Nations and group of companies that are that are like updated or are allowed by the United Nations, that complies with all the things that the United Nations requires for that. So after that, we also take care about it was like the natural way to go. What else can we do for the environment? So that's where the cycle of the 360 comes out, and it is to take care of the water, take care of the field, and take care of the territory. And there's where the journey continues, such as Otto used in previous slides. And how can we do better here? Well, regarding water, where Matt was mentioning about the vapor, and also how do we control the temperature during the fermentation and so on, and how we produce energy. Well, with water, we have found that we can regulate that temperature for different purposes, and either directly, if we would like to cool some part of the process, or by vapor if we would like to diminish the temperature of the process. So there are different ways of obtaining water. We have the underground water. We have the water that comes as rain, and other sources. So we try to measure and limit our footprint in regarding the water that we use. So we have established internal protocols in order to have a better use of these resource. And most of all, we have a certain experiment that we do, such as having part of our own personnel to go to the field and oh my God, I forgot how to say this in English. I told you you had to deal with this, and it is to plant a tree. So we plant trees at least once a month. And that is an initiative that we also enjoy, and everybody takes participation in that. The other thing that we take care of is, of course, the field. Why? Because we would like to give to the next generations a field that is fertile, and also that it has no erosion. And it is interesting how we can also limit the footprint that we attacked or that could be affected in our production process. So all the agronomic part of the process, it is controlled, and also as you were seeing before with vinasse, we are trying to not damage so much all our field with that. But when we talk about field, we are also talking about the the landscape. It is not only about that, but also the landscape. That is also very important. And the fourth pillar of our sustainability program, it is the territory. So what the territory is, that is something very interesting, because in the code, every piece or every pillar is very important. But for me, this is my particularly my favorite, because I believe that it kind of involves all the other ones. And how do the other pillars affect the community that is around our production facilities? So that is really beautiful, because we do have also a foundation that is called AFD, Alcoholes Finos Dominicanos, as our distillery, and Barceló, AFD Barceló. And with that, we take care of a lot of things in the community, what concerns them, what we see that is happening in the community. We have psychologists, we have teachers, we have transportations to take them to the school, and we have decided to focus in the young people, teenagers, and mainly, and then old people, that are aging people, that are normally those two extremes have certain concerns or certain situations in their lives in our country. The teenagers, most of them are they need to work instead to prepare themselves academically. So we help them to facilitate education. And the elderly, we help them, of course, with medicine and other things, in order to make sure that they can face for okay. So what is basically our objective, and actually, what is the sustainability program for us? It is no more than a social and an environmental norm of conduct that is based on the principle of the sustainable principle that are contained in the 17 strategic objectives of the United Nations. And that is something really aggressive, I think, as well. And it is beautiful to be part of that. And something that we try to do with this is not only to help the environment and help the community that is around. It is also to serve as an inspiration, not only to the other rum industries, and but also to every company that can help the environment. For the moment, we are
putting these things into action with a recent product that you've come out with.
Yes, actually, as a tribute to this sustainability program, we said to ourselves, okay, we definitely need to materialize this so we can be able to demonstrate how taking care of the environment and all the things that involved these four pillars can end up being a true product. So we came out with the first organic rum in the Dominican Republic, and organic certified. We are really proud of it, and actually we haven't launched it in the market yet, but you will see it soon at the end of this year. We have already sent the first shipments to Europe, mainly to the Scandinavian countries that are very interested in them. The United States are interested, and of course, the Dominican Republic. So I would like to talk a little bit really quick about this product. And it is not only organic. In order for us to have this organic, we needed to start thinking about this 7 years ago, because we needed to take care of the field. And but also we thought about the package, and the package is a sugar bagasse material. So it is also organic, and the ink that has the information here is made out of vegetable origin. So it is a product very interested, and the flavor is magnificent as well. So hopefully you have the opportunity to try it. Talking about that product, our ambition is to have all Barceló products certified organic, but it really takes a lot of time and effort. However, it is our ambition, and we are working toward that. For the moment, and in order to have this organic rum, we out of the 70 square kilometers of sugar cane fields that we have, 1.5 square kilometers we have dedicated to make it organic. It was like kind of a pilot, and well, it resulted magnificent. It is also aged in select oak cuts without previous use. So that is what Otto meant when we were talking about the barrels that we use in our other products that are first use of bourbon. This is a new barrel, and well, for the moment, the production is limited for 39 6 bottle cases. And well, this is our new innovation, and we wanted to share it with you.
Oh, that looks amazing. I can't wait to try it someday.
Hopefully soon.
Yes.
And this is our portfolio products, and we have all the range. Basically from the Dorado and White, that are the youngest one, until the special editions, such as this organic rum and our Barceló 30th anniversary. And this is kind of tricky because of what Otto was mentioning, is that once you put a number in a bottle, everybody tends to think that that is the age of the product. And I do believe that that is truly a handicap for rum producers in order to succeed in the worldwide, such as other spirits are doing. Tequila or is a great example of this is maybe not as successful worldwide, but it's also an example of what a denomination of origin could do, such as pisco. Then you can go all the way to Scotch and bourbon and so on. So what is the main problem that we have is that we don't have a worldwide denomination of origin. So it is very difficult to explain to the consumer what rum is, because it could be rum could be almost anything. I believe the only thing that we do have worldwide in common is that it has to come out of the alcohol has to come out of the sugarcane. It doesn't matter if it is molasses or sugarcane juice. And above that, I don't believe that there are many other things that are there are a standard for the whole industry, and that really concerns the consumer, confused the consumer, and it is a big it is a battle that is going to take time, but we are truly excited of being part of the history. There's something that we didn't mention, but I know that it is something that many people could be concerned about, and I would like to you to allow me just a couple of minutes to go over that. And it is how did we manage the COVID? Yes, that image says it. And we once the pandemic started, we can say that we have been fortunate enough to say that we didn't suffer that much because of the amount of countries to which we export, and because the pandemic didn't, or the disease impact didn't impact all the countries at the same time, and all the regulations didn't take place at the same time with the same strength. So we could kind of balance that. However, this is also what through our foundation we thought that we could do in order to help a little bit about the situation. So we decided to stop manufacturing rum a certain periods of during the first month of the pandemic, and we supported giving dedicating more than 100,000 liters in both forms, and gel in order to be a sanitizer, and in form of alcohol per se with a 75 percentage ABV. So it could use to clean surfaces. And also we gave those gels not only to the establishments. We have close to 60,000 pop-up and mom-and-pop stores in the Dominican Republic that are key. They represent almost 70% of the rum consumption in the Dominican Republic. But it is kind of the most important provider for the Dominican people that mainly buy what they need, what we need on a daily basis. So we needed to help the economy that way. So if people could feel secure of going there, and if the people that works there also feel secure, we could also help to make more dynamic the interaction of it there. So we impacted 10,000 of those 60,000 mom and pop stores, and we also marked the distance of 2 meters in order for people to make the line with the proper distance. And and we were part of different programs in order to help on that, such as the World Food Program, that is part of the United Nations.
Yeah, and
And
yeah, it's like a lot of Caribbean producers have jumped in and are doing this, so it's great to see that Barceló is one of them. We're running a little over on time. We have 3 quick questions which we can get to. The first one is, what are the oldest? What are the oldest rums in your inventory?
Our oldest, well, our oldest rums commercial wise are already aged up to 12 years. And when I say up to 12 years, it is 10 years of aging in ex-American oak, ex-bourbon oak, I'm sorry, ex-bourbon barrels, and 2 years in French oak barrels, which is a premium blend 30th anniversary.
Okay.
But of course, as I said, looking forward to the future, to new products, we're testing new barrels with different type of agents. So for the new products that might come to the market.
And a related question: what is? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Matt. Just to complete the Otto's answer. That is actually something new that we have a fight with to include in within the Jamaican norm of making rum, because in the past we were only allowed to use ex-bourbon oak barrels. So now we are able to experiment with barrels of other places.
Okay, good to know. Related question is, what is the oldest barrel in your warehouse? Like, what's the oldest rum you might happen to have in a warehouse?
I'm sorry, excuse me?
Like if you were to if you looked at all the rum in your warehouses and said, like, which barrel has been aging the longest, how old is that?
Well, you mean the barrel that is the oldest among our inventory?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure, to be honest, but I do believe we have barrels surrounding the 15 years old, barrels that have been used two times, 2 or 3 times, because actually, as by going through the scrape and toast process, we're able to reuse the barrels. Of course, maybe not in the premium rum segment, but in younger rums. So the oldest ones are about 15 years old. Okay. Remember, our facilities are fairly new. We're start building in 2002 and operational in 2016. So that's why our barrel park or inventory is fairly young.
Okay. Next question, and I think you touched on this earlier, but what grade of charring do you use? Like level 3, level 4? I think you mentioned this, but
from 3 to 5, because we have, of course, high char rums, but also rums that are produced with the blend of barrels from different charring, such as Barceló Imperial, for example, and Barceló Imperial Premium Blend 30th anniversary.
Okay. Last question here, and I think I know the answer, but I'll let you answer. It says, do you use dunder in any of your fermentation process, like the Jamaican producers? No. Okay. I didn't think so. It would be sort of run counter to, dunder is usually something used for a longer fermentation. So, and yours.
Yeah, and since it's close batch fermentation of just 24 hours, no.
Okay, well, great. I think we've answered all the critical questions here. You guys have done a great job of showing us the distillery. I want to thank you both very much for being part of this. Any final words you want to say before Will and I take it out?
Well, I'll hand the mic to Mr. Vinicio first, and then I can continue.
No, I am sorry, but the connection was cut. Can you repeat, Matt, again?
Do you any final words you want to say before we wrap up?
Okay, no, mainly thank you all for dedicating this almost 1 hour and a half. We apologize for the overtime, but we are really passionate about what we do, and probably that is something that. And if you have any questions, please send them to Matt, and we will be for your respect.
We'll get them to you. Okay. And Otto?
Following Mr. Vinicio, also thank you for inviting us here. Our apologies due to the overtime or the extension, but for us it was a pleasure to join you here doing this rum chat. And Barceló, the Ron Barceló gates to our distillery and production plant are open for any of you for whenever you could travel and visit the Dominican Republic, and of course this unfortunately pandemic season is over, but we keep in touch through the social media and emails. And so, any further questions, please do not hesitate to write.
Okay, and we can help with that. So again, much. I remember, or not remember, I was looking into comments and I saw several comments of people being very impressed by what they saw, and were quite enthusiastic about it. So again, thank you. Coming up in 2 weeks or so, our next WORSPA, a Xavi session with another WORSPA member producer. We're going to the small island of St. Vincent. We're going to be talking to the rum makers at St. Vincent Distillers, the home of Sunset Rum. So sign up for that as soon as you can, and we look forward to seeing you then. Will, take us out.
Hey guys, thanks so much. Like Matt said, this was a great presentation. Matt mentioned it earlier, but I learned so much about Barceló as well that I wasn't aware of. So always great. There's so much going on behind the scenes that we just don't know about, and that's why I look forward to these all the time. And Matt, as you mentioned, the next session with St. Vincent Distillers, I just put a link where people can register for that in the chat on the right side. So be sure to go ahead and do that if you're watching. Also, there's a link below the live stream that goes to Ron Barceló's website where you can learn even more about them. So check that out as well. But thank you guys again for this, and we'll see everyone back here in another 2 weeks.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.